We've got a problem with the DT and it's going to take time to sort. I'll tell you about that later. But for the meantime, it's looking like we're going to need to do it on a different bike. Now, these two are the only other options I've got. We've got Connor's bike, which is the FT, which I'll show you shortly. We've got the track bike. Now the track bike's got no lights, it's got no side stand, but it is registered, so we can use it on road. Trouble being, it's not very practical. The other option is a trials bike, which is just as inappropriate, but that's part of the fun. We want to do this because it's inappropriate. This is inappropriate. So, TRS trials bike, it's got like a 1.5 litre, 2 litre tank on it. So it'll probably only do 60 or 70 miles before it wants filling up. So there's an issue we'd have to get around. It's not made for it. It's really low geared. It won't do any more than 40 miles per hour. We're gonna really struggle on this. So we're just left with a dilemma. Do we not do it at all? And after promising everybody on the internet that we're gonna do this trip, we really wanna do it. Or do we do it on the track bike? Do we do it on the trials bike? Let us know what you think. Personally, I'd like to do it on the trials bike because we can have a little bit of off-road action and that'll be quite fun, especially up in top of Scotland where there's a lot of places where you're allowed to ride off-road. But ideally we want to do it on the DT, but it's looking really doubtful. Now let me explain the situation.
So as usual, the problem with this project is red tape. We've applied for the dating certificate, and it turns out the guy who does the dating certificate, the only guy who is capable of doing a dating certificate in this country, he's away for a month to 6 weeks, they said on the email. So that puts things forward a little bit because I can't apply for a logbook without the dating certificate. So I need the dating certificate. Then I looked and it says that it can be 8 to 10 weeks for the logbook to come after you receive the dating certificate. Now, I hope this is not true, and I hope this is just a worst case scenario, but it gives us a bit of a problem. What do I ride? I really want to do this trip to Scotland. Not sure what to do.
So this is what Connor will be riding. This is our complete build. It used to be, once upon a time, a DT50MX. So there's not a nut and bolt on this bike that we've not played with. We did it as a project for Connor's 16th birthday. Overran it a little bit. You were more than 16 and 3/4, weren't you, by the time we got it on road. But so it's seen a few miles now. It's seen about 12, 14 months of riding. So it's ready for a bit of an overhaul. But it's a real cool little thing, and we're never going to sell it. We've just upgraded the headlight, put another headlight on it, an Acabis one, because the old one we'd made from scratch and it was a little bit sketchy, got to be said. We need to do the exhaust. If anybody knows where we can get a stainless steel exhaust for this, it's a DT50MX. So if you know where we can get a stainless steel exhaust for this, let us know, because we can't find one anywhere. This one's actually customised. It's a G&L one, which was just 2 pieces of steel pressed together and then welded along, like spot welded. So we had all the seam taken off of it, professionally welded up. But this happened virtually straight away on it after the ceramic coating. It just came through and started rusting. So we need to sort that out. But this is all going to be after we come back from Scotland. Fingers crossed this will make it and do 500 miles. We're on rebuild number 3 now, I think, on this engine, because it gets thrashed to death. But it's only a 50. Custom seat, all these panels, I beat myself personally and cut them out. The wheels we built, 17-inch on back, 17-inch on front, way oversized tyre. Digital clocks, digital readout, USB to charge your phone. We upgraded the electrical system from 6 volts to 12 volts. We went through and did absolutely everything on it, so this is literally our baby. If someone else came along to try and repair this, they wouldn't have a clue where to start, because it's just customised to us. FT50, DT100, really doubtful whether we'll be taking this now. TRS 300 RR or a CBR 600 RR. If you've not seen what we've been doing to build this up, this is a Cadwell Park challenge that we're doing. I'm going to be taking it to Cadwell Park and trying my best, even though I'm too old and I shouldn't be doing this kind of stuff, I'm going to be trying my best to get past 10 litre superbikes of a value of 10 grand plus. It's the more I think about it, the more I think it's not possible. But we're just going to go and just try. Win it or bin it. But it's not working. Battery's flat. Also, what I've noticed is the steering damper is still leaking. If you saw on the other videos, go back and watch the other videos. We rebuilt the steering damper, but we don't think we've got the right seals for it. They were close, but they weren't quite perfect. So we're gonna have to rebuild that again. Oh dear. Fuel tap's actually off, but it still leaks. That's no good. But we've got a new fuel tap. Yeah. I don't know if that's coming out really well. The wires are bared. Wires are still in good condition, but the insulation has been pulled back, so that's going to need sorting. And the tyre we fitted is too big of a profile. We could probably adjust the chain, pull it back a bit, but it's still gonna catch on, swinging on. You see better from this side. Yeah, look how close it is. So, and the chain's on full adjustment. So I need another solution for the tyre, which is there. DT50. All this is just going to do is just make it a bit more rigid down at the bottom, stop it from moving, because the wire we're fine in between, just the support that the insulating we're giving it stops it from bending. The repeated bending makes it break. That'll do. Right, first thing we're going to do is drop out the oil, if there's any oil in it, which I very much doubt, but let's find out. We've got oil. It's actually very clean. Very clean. I don't know why, but that smells really strong of fuel. And a few bits, but obviously it's a gearbox. No more than you'd expect. So happy with that. The problem is going to be all these little screws, because some of them, like that one for instance, and that one especially, that is well rounded off. So they're going to be a ball ache to get out. But we've got a head start because we've got the impact screwdriver with the sorted bits on. So that's the impact screwdriver, what we need. Allen key, I'm sure that wasn't Allen key as standard. It is now. Beautiful. That was the one I was worried about. We'll be replacing these JAS fasteners, but this bike, we're never going to put this bike to standard, so we'll probably put some nice Allen key ones in it. Some cap heads, well, probably button heads. Right, this is the oil pump housing, now covered in oil. Oh, the cable's just been snipped off. More than likely that will still work, but what happens is people just undo these and think that's it, but these are actually lubricated in their own oil, so when they run dry like this they burn out. So it all depends how long that has been run without oil in it. Clip there. And we can undo the oil feeds and return. So that could work, but we'll have that off anyway and strip it down. Full of water. Alright, battery went flat on the camera, or on the phone should I say. I can't use a GoPro in here because the light interferes. It flickers, so then all you'll get is just light dark, light dark. So weird. It must be on the same frequency as these lights I've got up. But yeah, with the impact screwdriver, I thought there wasn't enough left on it, and it's just rounded off straight away. So there's a few different ways. I've got all the rest of them, everything else came out. There is always one. A couple of different ways you can get this out. I can either drill the head off, remove the cover, and then get some mole grips on the rest of it and pull it out. Once the torque's off of it, it'll just roll out, it'll be easy peasy. Or I can use a centre punch into the side of it and chug it round. Or I could use this, a nice cold chisel, flat one, as small as possible, and then just make a little slot in the top edge of it. So I'll keep hitting in, and it'll keep separating. Nice heavy hammer makes it a lot easier. Yeah. Take care not to slip and get the casing, otherwise you're in trouble. And then hit it sideways like that. There you go. Undone. And now it should come out with your fingers. Just give it another couple of taps. Yeah, see it coming out. I'll do it again just for everybody who missed it. I'll hit it in. Make a little slot. And then hit it sideways like that. Away it goes. You can do this with all of them, all different screws. But you usually have to do it with these JAS fasteners because they're shite. Yes, that's it, I said it. And then just a little pair of grips on it. It should just wind out. There you go. Excellent. So that's that bit done. That should just come off that actually. Give it a little wiggle. Try not to break the gasket because of the Yorkshire. Just one part of the gasket's hanging on like a persistent ex-girlfriend. Super clean. What happens with clutch plates usually is, and they've been stood for any amount of time, they just dry out in between. Oh, you see, we've got a little bit, ooh, there's a rubber oil seal there, that's strange. I've never seen that before. Don't know what the purpose of that is, but if you know, leave us a comment. purpose of that little oil seal there. A little rubber O-ring. So we'll put that in there and we'll take them out and put them down as they come off. It looks like it's chamfered off there, look. Again, this is something I've not seen before. My knowledge of bikes has always been after the 1980s. I think the oldest bike I ever rode before this one was a TY80 Y-Talk, and I was only 8-year-old. You can see how they're sticking together. Another oil seal, so there must be an oil seal in between every one. So what we're going to do is we're going to drop these out, and I'll leave them overnight. Yeah, they're all stuck together. Now what I could have done is I could have just warmed those up. Oh, the engine. Just kept running the engine and just pull the clutch in and ride round on it. But I've probably burnt more fuel, and at least this way I've checked the clutch, I know it's alright. The clutch looks absolutely like new. It's really nice. It's nice edges, it's not, doesn't seem to be worn, it's just dried out. Yeah, look, see how they stuck together? Click. So, yeah, leave that a bit of oil. Yeah, everything's good. So the clutch was fine. I think it was just a case of the oil between the plates had dried out. Poured a bit of gear oil on these. Just pop that out of there. Just give that a bit of a drink. We might give them a bit of clean up as well with some Scotch-Brite, just to get rid of that surface rust. And that just soaks into the plates, and then we'll clean out the rest, rebuild it, put it all back together, fresh oil. Gaskets in one piece and everything, so excellent. So as you may have seen in the previous video, we had a problem with the running of the bike, which turned out to be a restricted exhaust. The exhaust had collapsed inside, and obviously something had gone wrong, so it was just restricting the flow. Now it's not a serviceable part, it's not just something you can easily take apart and replace any bits inside it, or even repack it. You've got to actually fabricate it, you've got to cut it in half and then re-weld it back together. That's beyond my capabilities, but it's not beyond Gavin's capabilities. Once we got the end of the exhaust chopped off, we found the restriction. You could see it once we got some light inside it, and it went further down inside the exhaust than we thought it was.
So you look down there, that is all full of exhaust wadding inside that bit. You can't get it out.
So we had to cut it all open a bit further down.
It's only been smoking for about half an hour. Both sides. I said we don't look after the environment, guys and girls. Right, so we've got the inside expansion. You can see in there. We kept drilling holes in it, and it looked like we were going to have to butcher it to bits. So we decided just to take a strip off the bottom. It'll be a lot easier to put back together.
So we got the exhaust back and just mock fitted it. Yeah, the tailpipe looks awful, we don't have a silencer for it. So we had to make do. We found a piece of tubing, just welded it into exhaust. Down there. It's done a really nice job of it. And it just sneaks round the rear shock between. We're gonna have to address this tyre. This tyre's way too big. Yeah, thanks to Gav at Lovebots for doing me the exhaust. is repacked it, peeled it all apart, repacked it, welded it all back up together. You can hardly tell, well you can't tell from this side because we didn't do it from this side, but yeah, made a bit of a boo-boo because I made him cut it up to this part. So you can actually see that, that's on display. That's actually the front of the exhaust, but it travels through to the other side. So yeah, bit of a boo-boo there. Yeah, so we're just gonna put it all back together. I have to straighten that brake rod out somehow. Repair that. Got to thank Gavin for doing my exhaust. He's done an absolutely cracking job of it. And so I've got to give his company a plug. I don't have to, I want to. Gav's a really nice guy. So have you ever wondered what the fastest way to get rid of all your toys, your motorbikes, your cars, your things like that, and turn them into kitchens and things? You might want to consider getting married, because you'll do that double quick. Yeah, what Gavin creates is a little bit of genius. The thing's called love bots, and these love bots are like little robots. Put some pictures up for you now, and they're just like little cute robots. And some of them are just standing there. Some of them are holding hearts, heart givers. Really cool little gift for your missus. He's even got some that he's just produced, which is like it's two robots, one male robot, one female robot. And the male robot is giving the female robot a ring. And what you do is you propose to your girl and you put the ring in the robot's hand. And yeah, and it's a really nice moment. And she says yes, and then you lose all your toys. But I wanted to give him a quick plug because of how cool these things are. I'll leave a link in the description to Gavin's Lovebots company. You'll see a few of them, you'll fall in love, I guarantee it. Just don't lose your toys, boys. Right, so we've got the clutch cover on and the clutch in. The oil pump is fitted, overhauled. We've got rid of the JS fasteners, JIS fasteners, and got it all back on. We've had to shorten a few bolts because they were too long. These are just ones I'd got laying around in workshop. So we're going to put on the original carb because I think it'll run a lot nicer with original carb on it. That'll already be set up, and then all we've got to do is change rear tyre because if you look underneath there, the exhaust, if you can see that or not, the exhaust is gonna foul on tyre when tyre's moving up and down. It's really close, but it's not even worth messing around with. So I'm going to adjust that, get rid of that big chunky trials tyre. And we've got a bit of wiring to sort out, which I've repaired that one. Got the headlight brackets to fit in front here. Obviously it's going to be having a new chain and sprockets, but not just yet. I'm going to take it for a little ride first. We've got the registration plate to fit and the rear light. We've got all these parts as well for back brake, but that's bent. Obviously the rod's a bit bent. We're going to have to repair it and straighten it up. You're better than that. Alright, so we've been to the local bike stockist, we've got some more pipe, we've got a filter. Wiring looks a bit shabby, but at this stage we just want to hear it run and make sure that exhaust runs okay, and then we can finalise everything. I'm struggling getting the cables, so I can't run it auto lube. Or oil feed, should I say, not auto lube. So until we've got the cables, it's running on premix. The original Mikuni carb that came with bike, it ran before on it, barely, but it ran better with this on it. And now the Mikuni carb won't run at all. It will not run with it. I've adjusted the level, float level up, float level down, cleaned it out. It's just, there's not a murmur coming out of it. So I swapped the carb round, bought some new pipe because the other stuff was too small. Well, it was too small to go on the fuel tap because fuel tap's massive for some reason. Got a nice filter that you can clean out, and then this pipe's stretchy enough so it can go onto big fuel tap and onto carb as well without leaking. So let's give it a little try. and give it a kick over. Move, you moron! Loves it. Well, it runs and rides.